Hi everybody, I'm Miss Chrissy from the Newton Falls Public Library. Today we're going to bring you another special read aloud. We've been reading a few different things for you, and today we thought we'd bring you something completely different. We're going to read some of Rudyard Kipling's stories for you. Now there's one story of his that I'm sure you're all aware of, and that of course is The Jungle Book. But he also has a series of short stories that I really love called the Just So stories. My friends and I got together to read you the first one. I hope you enjoy it.
How the Whale Got His Throat. On the sea, once upon a time, oh my best beloved, there was a whale, and he ate fishes. He ate the starfish and the garfish, and the crab and the dab, and the plaice and the dace, and the skate and his mate, and the mackerel and the pickerel, and the really truly twirly whirly eel. All the fishes he could find in the sea he ate with his mouth. So, till at last there was only one small fish left in the sea, and he was a small 'stute fish. And he swam a little behind the whale's right ear, so as to be out of harm's way. And then the whale stood up on his tail and said,
I'm hungry.
and the small 'stute fish said in a small 'stute voice,
Noble and generous cetacean, have you ever tasted man?
No.
said the whale.
What is it like?
Nice,
Said the small 'stute fish.
nice, but nubbly.
Then fetch me some.
Said the whale, and he made the sea froth up with his tail.
One at a time is enough.
Said the 'stute fish.
If you swim to latitude 50 north, longitude 40 west,
That is magic.
you will find sitting on a raft in the middle of the sea with nothing on but a pair of blue canvas breeches, a pair of suspenders,
You must not forget the suspenders, best beloved.
and a jackknife, one shipwrecked mariner who, it is only fair to tell you, is a man of infinite resource and sagacity.
So the whale swam and swam to latitude 50 north, longitude 40 west, as fast as he could swim. And on a raft in the middle of the sea, with nothing to wear except a pair of blue canvas breeches, a pair of suspenders. You must particularly remember the suspenders, best beloved. And a jackknife, he found one single solitary shipwrecked mariner, trailing his toes in the water. He had his mummy's permission to paddle, or else he would never have done it, because he was a man of infinite resource and sagacity. Then the whale opened his mouth, back, till it nearly touched his tail. And he swallowed the shipwrecked mariner and the raft he was sitting on and his blue canvas breeches and the suspenders, which you must not forget, and the jackknife. He swallowed them all down into his warm, dark inside cupboards. And then he smacked his lips. Mwah! So. And he turned around 3 times on his tail. But as soon as the mariner, who was a man of infinite resource and sagacity, found himself truly inside the whale's warm, dark inside cupboards, he stumped and he jumped, he thumped and he bumped, he pranced and he danced, and he banged and he clanged and he hit and he bit and he leaped and he creeped and he prowled and he howled and he hopped and he dropped and he cried and he sighed and he crowed and he bawled and he stepped and he leapt and he danced the hornpipes where he shouldn't. And the whale felt most unhappy indeed. Have you forgotten the suspenders? So he said to the 'stute fish,
This man is very nubbly, and besides, he is making me hiccup. What shall I do?
Tell him to come out.
said the 'stute fish. So the whale called down his own throat to the shipwrecked mariner.
Come out and behave yourself. I have got the hiccups.
Nay, nay, said the mariner, not so, but far otherwise. Take me to my natal shore and the white cliffs of Albion, and I'll think about it. And he began to dance more than ever.
You had better take him home,
said the 'Stute-fish to the whale.
I ought to have warned you that he is a man of infinite resource and sagacity.
So the whale swam and swam and swam, with both flippers and his tail as hard as he could for the hiccups. And at last he saw the mariner's natal shore and the white cliffs of Albion. And he rushed halfway up the beach and opened his mouth wide, wide, wide and said,
Change here for Winchester, Ashwelot, Nashua, Keene, and stations on the Fitchburg Road.
And just as he said, Fitch, the mariner walked out of his mouth. But while the whale had been swimming, the mariner, who was indeed a person of infinite resource and sagacity, had taken his jackknife and cut the raft into little square gratings, all running crisscross, and he had tied it firm with his suspenders. Now you know why you were not to forget the suspenders. And he dragged that grating good and tight into the whale's throat. And there it stuck. Then he recited the following sloka, which, as you have not heard it, I will now proceed to relate. By means of a grating, I have stopped your eating. For the mariner, he was also a Hibernian, and he stepped out on the shingle, and he went home to his mother, who had given him leave to trail his toes in the water, and he married and lived happily ever afterward. So did the whale. But from that day on, the grating in his throat, which he could neither cough up nor swallow down, prevented him from eating anything except very, very small fish. And that is the reason why whales nowadays never eat men or boys or little girls. The small 'Stute-fish went and hid himself in the mud under the door sills of the equator. He was afraid that the whale might be angry with him. The sailor took the jackknife home. He was wearing the blue canvas breeches when he walked out on the shingle, and the suspenders were left behind to tie the grating with. And that is the end of that tale.
That is how the whale got his throat. There's lots of other stories here in the Just So stories, and we're going to bring them to you over the next little while, a few weeks, hopefully not a few months. And I hope you enjoy them. Another little thing I wanted to show you, if any of you watched my snippet of Seuss about Yertle the Turtle, you'll know that I opened the front cover and discovered the book had belonged to my sister, and I'd accidentally taken it home with me. Well, this one is a little bit the same way, except for this one belongs to my dad. Apparently, Miss Chrissy the librarian has been borrowing books from lots of people. Come back next week and you can see a little more of the stories.
Is a man of infinite resource and sagacity.
Is that how we pronounce that? Because he was a man of infinite resource. And how do we pronounce that?
Sagacity? Sagacity?
Sagacity. And sagacity. And sagacity. And sagacity. Ooh, I did it wrong.
Sagacity.
Sagacity.
Sagacity?
This word is such a problem for me. Sagacity. La. Lost my place and everything. And we are saying sagacity.